what is the rationale for Concord Action for establishing a new organization that's going to be focused on grassroots advocacy?
The Concord Coalition proper has done fabulous work around educating people around the budget. But I think what is becoming clear is we have to push some. We have to really push members of Congress, push the executive branch to go out there and do things that balance the budget. And at one time back in the 1990s, there was a action fund type organization affiliated with the Concord Coalition that was involved in making those kinds of pushes. And they were successful. I know there were other forces involved as well, but basically Congress and the president balanced the budget at the end of the 1990s. So it is to create more of that advocacy, to go out there and really support legislation that is going to drive Congress towards a balanced budget. Maybe advocating for a commission, though I hate advocating for commissions. We've had so many, but there are things like that out there. There are solutions to the debt ceiling crisis out there. One thing I'd really like to see us move forward with is really putting some teeth in PAYGO. And I have been talking with people about adopting a PAYGO plus type piece of legislation where every piece of legislation should be paid for and should leave some money behind to help balance the budget.
And PAYGO, of course, is the 1990s invention that stands for pay as you go. It applies to tax programs, tax cuts, but mandatory spending increases. Things that if Congress is going to legislate to increase these things, then they need to offset it somehow. And PAYGO did work.
It did. When I was a staffer in the 1990s on the Hill, I was working for Senator Ron Wyden, and every single bill I introduced was paid for. There are different versions of PAYGO. We can get into that maybe another time, but the basic intuition here is that when you introduce legislation, you identify the offsets. And then I would like to see, at this point, we are so deep in the hole, we really need a PAYGO plus, where you are also not just identifying offsets for your particular initiative, but you are also identifying just further offsets to help with deficit reduction.
And of course, you need that because even if we just did PAYGO, we're on an unsustainable course already. So
exactly.
PAYGO just keeps the situation from getting worse. The do no harm.
And I will say, that's sort of step one is stop digging the hole, I guess. Step two is start paying for the things that you are doing and leave some behind. And step three is to develop a real plan to push towards balance. And I know this is going to be extremely hard and very tough, but at some point really soon, we need a plan to figure out how we're going to balance the budget.
Well, I think that, that was the goal in the 90s, and maybe it was easier then, but there's a lot to be said for it. I mean, if you dig into the numbers, it's very daunting at the moment, but it's a clear, definable goal that is a responsible one that people support and can understand. And it doesn't get any easier if we say, well, it's too hard to do it now, so let's wait. Well, it's
exactly. Exactly. I keep saying we need to balance the budget, and folks are like, oh, there's no way we can do that. And I'm like, well, we might as well get started moving in that direction because it's only getting harder.